All right, hey everyone, welcome back. So happy Friday to you all. As you can see, the remodel is progressing quite nicely in the basement here. So maybe in the next 6 months we'll be done with everything, if things go well. Maybe even faster than that. We'll see. Thanks so much for coming in here. But today wasn't a great day for Bitcoin. It was up a little bit. Miners, for the most part, were mixed and down quite a bit. IREN got beat down quite a bit because of JP Morgan there, right? They came out with a downgrade on them. Idiots. We'll talk about that. Well, maybe we'll talk about it. Maybe we won't talk about it. But there's a video clip of Dan Roberts on CNBC that got me all hyped up and more bullish than ever on the company going forward here. We'll take a look at the clip. We'll listen in on what Dan had to say, and we'll discuss it as well. Cipher also got their convertible note upsized to 1.1 billion. Talked about that yesterday. I said, we're probably going to get to 1 billion, 1 billion 1. Sure enough, we got to 1.1 billion there. So that's good for them going forward to build out the data centers that they need, obviously, for FluidStack and Google being backing FluidStack there. We'll take a look at the miners, obviously, Bitcoin, what happened today, and then get into Q&A as well on top of it all, okay? So it should be pretty short and sweet since today's Friday. I want to relax a little bit as well. I've been going gangbusters with everything else. But here's what we got, right? Not financial advice, for only do your own research, full disclosure below that. Hit the like button, subscribe. It helps me out tremendously. And also, to note, I did buy some more stocks today on the dip here. I bought some more Cleanspark. I didn't do a lot of buying. I bought 100 shares of Cleanspark, and I bought 350 shares of Bitfarms as well. So I did some buying today. If we get a continuation of the dip on Monday and Tuesday, I'll probably buy some more there. All right, that's the disclosure part of it. Let's get into what's going on here with Bitcoin and miners here over today on Friday. So Bitcoin's up just a little bit here. It was up 0.61%, so at least we may have bottomed out here yesterday, at least 108,000, right? We were talking about 108,000 could be in play. Sure enough, we do have support there. It is holding it right now at least. We'll see where we go over the weekend here. We talked about how Bitcoin has been dipping into the end of the month here. We talked about it yesterday, right? We saw it here happening in August. Towards the end of the month, it was dipping. In July, same thing. Towards the end of the month, it was dipping. It also dipped towards the end of the month here in July, a little bit as well in May. So we've had this reoccurrence of Bitcoin dipping towards the end of the month here. And sure enough, we got that a little bit earlier here this time around. But we got 2 more days. Well, we got 4 more days on Bitcoin trading, but the stock market is going to be trading for 2 more days here on Monday and Tuesday next week. So we're going to probably dip a little bit more here. We'll see where Bitcoin's at right now as far as the monthly and the quarterly data. As far as the markets were actually in the green today, which was nice. All of them across the board were in the green here. Ethereum today was also in the green. It was up nicely, 4.09%. Miners did bounce back from having some pretty bad lows here today. Bitfarms was down 5.22%. BitDeer was down 1.93%. You can see the wick on this thing. It was pretty bad on a lot of these guys here, but they rebounded. Kango was down another 1.95%. Cipher was down 1.63%. It was also in the green at one point. Cleanspark was down 5.26% after being down almost like 10%, 11%. So that one bounced back. CORZ was up a little bit, 0.06% after being down. Hive was down 1.68. That one was in the green as well for a little bit. Hut 8 was down 4.93%. IREN was down 9.57% on the day after being down, 14, 15% at one point during the morning hours there. Mara was up a little bit, 0.37%. Riot was up 5.68%. And Wolf was down 1.28%. Riot, there was a reason why Riot was up. I can't remember what the reason was. I think somebody gave a good outlook for them, I believe. Can't remember what that was. Remind me if you guys remember. MicroStrategy was up a little bit, 2.78% as well. Galaxy was down 3.87%. Block was down just barely, 0.01% there. Coin was up 1.92%. Metaplanet was down 3%. Exodus was down 1.35%. Nexon was down just a little bit, 0.03%. Semler was down 6.29%. Phoenix was down 4.17%, and GameStop was up 4.55%. Small miners were up for the most part. Looks like Any was up 2.76%. Argo was down 0.5%. DG Power was down 2.93%. DMG was up just a little bit, 0.31%. Mawson was up 11.43%. People are looking for some deals there, it looks like. And Canon was up just a little bit, 0.2%. The Bitcoin ETF miners were all down 1%, almost 2%, 1%, almost 3.75% there for DGHI. The Ethereum holding companies, BMNR was up just a little bit, 1.88%. BitDigital was up 0.34%. BTCS was up 0.44%. Game was down 0.43%. SBET was down 1.9% on that one. And then some of the other companies here, ABTC continues to slide down here. It's down to 658, so it's down 1.64%. Wi-Fi was down also 3.22%. Open was down 3.08%. Oracle was down 2.7%. Nibius was down 0.22%. And Soluna was down 6.46% after being down much more in the day. And then it kind of came back up a little bit on that one. So there's the market for the miners here, more or less, and Bitcoin and everything else that we track right now. We could possibly take a look at on the miners to see where they ended up the week at. So if we look at the weekly here on these, Bitfarms is down on the week here approximately 18.59%. BitDeer ended the week being down 1.22%. Kengo ended the week here down 9.66%. Cipher ended up, I mean, it was much higher during the week, but then it ended up lower, being down 6.6%. Cleanspark ended the week down just a little bit, 0.485%. CORZ was actually up on the week, 1.38%. Hive was also down 7.12%. Hut 8 was down also 8.5%. IREN was actually up on the week. It still kept a positive week here, 8.33% for IREN, even with the big drawdown that we had in the last 2 days. Mara for the week was down 11.81%. Riot for the week was up 1.32% only. And then Wolf was actually down on the week 1.37%. So we've only had like really 2 miners that were actually in the green for the week this time around. All right, looking at Bitcoin here really quick. Let's take a look at this one, get this updated here, see where we are with price and everything else. That update for the month here of September, we're still up 1.24%, so we'll see if we can finish out the month in the green here. For the quarter, we're only up 2.35%. Nothing to brag about, nothing to celebrate, but at least the miners that are getting into HPC AI have performed exceptionally well for us here, and I believe that's going to continue onwards. Bitcoin ETF inflows really quick as well. Let's check that out, see where those are at. So we had negative outflows yesterday, 253 million. Today we had 381 million. Not counting what IBIT has sold out or bought in there. We'll find that out on Sunday when we'll probably do this show. And then let's get into the news stories that we do have here. So Cipher announced their pricing of upsized private offerings of 1.1 billion of 0% convertible senior notes. This is great. They're going to need about 1.5, 1.6 billion, I think, to build out the data center for Fluidstack. So that gets them pretty much like a little bit more than 3/4 of the way there. And they're going to need to probably dilute a little bit more on the share side using the ATM. I think last time I checked, which was earlier this week, they had around 700 million left of the ATM that they could possibly pull on if they needed to. So they are fully covered to cover the expense there of building that out in the short term. And then we'll see if they get another deal going forward. And also, how will they actually build out their own AI cloud, right? Which is something that they've noted of wanting to do as well, similar to what IREN is doing right now, right? We got them possibly getting into the act there. We also have Cleanspark possibly doing the same thing, or looking to do the same thing. So it's going to be an interesting race here between a couple of these companies as they're seeing that having your own AI cloud is possibly, or it does appear that way, at least right now, that it is more financially beneficial to the company and the shareholders as well. All right, so that's it. So great news for Cipher there. We'll keep an eye on this one, obviously, how this one performs going forward. And then let's take a look at IREN here. So this was on CNBC today. Dan came on the show for CNBC. And let's take a listen to this really quick. It's about 4 minutes or so. And then we'll obviously talk about it here as well. I'll pause it at certain points if I feel they need to discuss certain things. But let's get into it here right now.
High-flying stock, IREN. Shares are under pressure today, or they were, but up 6-fold in 6 months. The company owns and operates huge data centers that are run on renewable energy. This is a huge growth area amid the quest for more AI compute capacity. IREN is also a miner of Bitcoin and other things that involve heavy-duty compute power. So joining us now, right here on set, is Dan Roberts, IREN co-CEO and co-founder. It's great to have you back on set.
Great to be here.
So let's start with that, because this has been the big talking point. We've had a big week with lots of news and lots of AI deals announced. Where do you play in the space? How quickly is it growing?
Super quickly. We can't meet the demand fast enough. And at the heart of it is these AI factories that are delivering compute to hyperscalers, AI labs, inference, training, enterprise.
All right, listen to that. They can't keep up with the demand here, right? Which is something that we've heard from other people on X, and even I think JP Morgan said something about it where, right, the demand there is just not there, what they're seeing. So this is a clear indication that they have more demand that they can currently supply the customers with, which is great news for them, because as they continue to build out their AI offerings in their AI cloud, they are going to definitely be able to fill those slots relatively quickly here. So, right, the target right now is 23,000 of GPUs by the end of the year here, which is going to be, well, he's going to talk about it here in a second, obviously, but let's listen in.
Yeah. So does this put you in competition with the CoreWeaves and Oracles of the world, or should we think about it differently?
Look, it's very similar. It's providing AI cloud compute to end customers. The key advantage we've got is we've got the data centers, we've got the power and land today. We are actively installing these GPUs every day at the moment to meet the demand.
It's interesting because we've been having these debates about, okay, maybe we're capacity constraints now, but a couple years down the road, does this swing from boom to bust? The cyclical nature, I guess, questions around possible cyclical nature around this. But what does that mean for IREN when you are vertically integrated and you do have these data centers that basically started as Bitcoin miners are now being adjusted?
Yeah, it's the same data center that was built for multi-purpose. So over the last 7 years, we have accumulated 3 gigawatts of powered land. Today, we've contracted for 23,000 GPUs that will deliver around 500 million in annualized revenue. That's less than 2% of our overall footprint. So big numbers. But as we discussed last time I was on the program, it's still a drop in the ocean compared to what is required over the coming years. One of the US investment banks forecasting a shortfall over the next 3 years of 44 gigawatts. McKinsey is forecasting an additional 100 gigawatts of data center capacity by 2030. They're big numbers.
How big are your advantages on power? I mean, you're located near some hydro, if I recall. So what kind of operating efficiencies does that give you?
So we've been 100% renewables since inception. Wind, solar, hydro. But the key distinction here is we don't take generation risk on renewables. That's the job of the utility. So we connect into these high voltage transmission networks. They guarantee us 24/7 reliable renewable energy.
So what happens in the medium term once, say, the hyperscalers get more of their capacity online? Is there a co-location play that you expect to happen for this AI infrastructure as well, or do they become more competitors of yours and compete on price?
Look, everyone's trying to do everything right now. If you speak to the hyperscalers, I think they're open to co-location, they're open to AI cloud. The reality is the industry just can't get enough capacity at the moment. So we did look at co-location, but as now we are focused on AI cloud. We are.
Okay, so that's the part that got me really bullish on them again. I've been bullish on them over a long time, but this has got me like pushed up over the top here as far as bullishness going in the future, right? He's saying that they have been approached for co-location, but they are looking to do their own AI cloud here, which is obviously going to be bringing in a heck of a lot more revenue here. So this is great news. Love to see, love hearing that.
Up in the value chain, capturing more of the economics by providing that compute and building relationships directly with end customers like AWS.
So are you all in then on AI right now, or are you still involved in Bitcoin mining?
Ooh, that I missed earlier. He said AWS, right? Customers like AWS. So they might be, I'm saying might, they might be having AWS as a customer for them if they can build out fast enough and quick enough and, you know, build out the megawatts that they need.
And other types of heavy compute.
Look, Bitcoin was great. It bootstrapped the business. Today it's delivering about $1 billion of annualized revenue. So it's certainly not worth scoffing at, but the future is AI. As I mentioned, less than 2% of our power is capable of generating $500 million of annualized revenue. The outlook for growth in AI and servicing this market is super exciting.
All right, there's the other point, right? 2% of their megawatts currently are going to be generating about $500 million in revenue going forward. If you do a conservative estimate on that, if you say they're going to be utilizing only 50% of that, right, of the megawatts they have potential, that would be still a 25 times increase in the revenues they could possibly be getting. So what's 25 times 500? That comes out to be roughly $12.5 billion in revenue annually, right? Where do you think the stock is going to be at that point, right? Let's just say they have to dilute also 100% of the shares there. Where do you think the stock is going to be at that point? Not going to be at the $40 range that we are right now, for sure.
How long does it take you to change over a facility from one use case to a different one, considering the equipment and the labor?
Look, we posted a video on Twitter this morning showing live time people swapping out racks of ASICs, which are used for Bitcoin mining, and just wheeling in the servers of NVIDIA racks. So as quickly as we can get the labor there, as quickly as we can get the chips there, we're installing them and making that capacity available.
So in terms of future sites, places that you're building, what should we be watching?
Well, look, as I said, we've got 3 gigawatts secured today, but we've also got a multi-gigawatt pipeline that we've also spent a large part of the 7 years building. So,
okay, so there's the other part, right? They have a multi-gigawatt pipeline that they're developing. I don't know when we're going to get news of that or any kind of announcement, but I'm guessing probably within the next 6 months to a year, we'll probably get some kind of news on that as far as them actually having signed the contracts, dotted the I's, crossed the T's, and all that stuff, right? So that's also really, really important there as well for their future growth as a company.
Look, the near-term growth is there, but also longer term, we're pretty excited.
Have you been surprised by the monster move in your stock this year?
Oh, look, it's been interesting, but I think when you look at the growth and you look at how quickly we can scale up this cloud business, we feel supported by investors. We've raised a lot of funding over the last few months, and I think they're recognising the scale of growth and how quickly we go.
Okay, Dan.
We are definitely recognizing it, and we are definitely happy of getting into it, obviously, much earlier when the stock was much lower. Hopefully, you guys were able to do the same thing. I know a lot of you guys were, but there are obviously some people that haven't gotten into it, and on days like we had today where we had a dip, yesterday we had a dip, excuse me, those are great opportunities to buy in on the dips, especially for a company like IREN, which does seem to be like operating on all 12 cylinders there. They're going to be plowing ahead going forward with their operations, building out the data centers and putting in more GPUs as they can, as fast as they can. So I'm looking forward to the next 12 months with them. I have no intentions of selling right now, given if things stay the same more or less with the general market, the economy, and everything else. But yeah, it's going to be a fun ride with this one. It is going to make, like in my opinion, it's going to make a lot of shareholders multimillionaires here. Depending where the stock goes, but the upside potential is huge on this one. Do not pass it up, not financial advice. Do your own research on it as always. But I mean, Dan is all smiles here. You can see that he is very, very confident in what they're doing and what they're going to be achieving here in the next year, I believe. So I'm loving it. Hopefully you guys are too. And I didn't put this up on the screen for you guys, did I? Or did it? Yeah, okay. It is on the screen for you guys. My application is short-circuiting for whatever reason. I know why it is, because OS X got updated here and it's having issues with it. But hopefully that'll get updated here in a little bit, because that's right now confusing me a little bit. All right, you guys were able to see that. That's all I have for you guys really today. I did post on X also their video, and they posted it also. Hopefully you guys saw that, where they're changing out the sites from Bitcoin mining to HPC data racks, server racks there. That is a thing of beauty, being able to do that, just take things out and put new racks in. Obviously some electrical work and things like that, and maybe some cooling piping and things like that. But overall, I mean, it's a pretty quick process of the way that is being done here. So yeah, I'm excited. I am really, really excited for the next 12 months plus potentially here with IREN. But that's it. Let's get into your guys' Q&A. So if you guys have any questions, if not, we'll call it a day. But again, thank you so much for coming in here this late of an hour on Friday. Greatly appreciate you guys here. And let's get into Q&A here. All right. That is hopefully up and running here. Let me go back, reset my video output, because that's what's causing grief here right now, for me at least. All right. There's that. All right. I can see things properly now. All right, let's get into the Q&A. If you guys could preface the questions with a question mark, as always, I'd appreciate it here. I'm going to scroll my way up and work my way down as always, and we'll get through all the questions in due course. Just be patient out there as always. All right, Neville, I'm not going to be able to post your comment because of a word that's in there, but basically it says, heck, colocation deals, NeoCloud is the way to go. I agree. All right, let's see here. MJS, hey Seb and family, bought more Cleanspark and Cipher today. Awesome. Like I said, I also bought Cleanspark and some more Bitfarms there. Sadie, thank you so much for the thumbs up. Greatly appreciate it as always. S. Ramani, Riot got a JPM upgrade. Okay, that's what it was. That's why the stock went up, right? So JPM upgraded Riot, but they downgraded IREN. Go figure. Cleanspark got a mild downgrade. IREN got a price target increase from $14 to $26 and a sell rating. Okay. All right, DeFi, 2% of available megawatts will be generating 500 million ARR. Annual run rate for IREN is, if 100% is used, then 25 billion. Are you buying more? I have a lot of shares as it is right now, and I mean, I could possibly buy more, but it's not like I have a boatload of money just sitting on the sides here. I wish I did. I'd definitely be buying more at that point. All right. Let's see here. MJ says, Neville, yes, I believe NeoCloud is the way to go as well. I think we're all in the same opinion of that. DeFi, why is Solana down all-time high? Dilution? Down after hours. Oh, down after hours. I think That I don't know why it's down after hours. Let me see, where's it at after hours right now? How how big of a drop is it at right now after hours? Oh, it's down 13%. Okay, could be dilution. Could be pulling on something on the ATM or whatever they got, or it just could be people getting out of it after making some profits there, right? You got to do your own due diligence on Soluna, right? Small company, what are they valued at right now? 37 or 60, 70 million right now market cap. So it's not huge, but you got to do your due diligence on that one for sure. All right, let's go back to the questions here. What do we got? All right, Gary's got a question here. I warned about the quality of minor analysts, JP Morgan analysts who tanked IREN 2 months ago with $16 price target, dropped IREN again with $24 price target, and lowered Cleanspark from 15 to 14. Yeah, JP Morgan is a poop show, I guess you could say. DeFly says JP Morgan are market manipulators. They pay crap tons in fines. Okay, and there's your answer for it. Yeah, they're trying to manipulate it. They're trying to get the price down so they can buy more. Gary, his price target is a third of all the others this week. Yep, there's like 5 that are at like $75 up to $82. He is either an idiot or paid by JP Morgan to tank IREN so they could buy it. Probably both. He's a useful idiot, I guess maybe you could say. DeFly, do you anticipate IREN diluting? As long as Bitcoin cooperates and they're generating nice revenue from Bitcoin, right? They're also doing deals where they're leasing the equipment a lot of times. We'll see if they get that kind of agreement again for the additional, 12,000 GPUs that they're getting or something like that. So they can pay basically as they go on those things, which would then not require that much dilution. But as they're going to be building out Sweetwater, and maybe they can make enough revenue from the AI side of things as well. We don't know. We'll find out eventually, I think, after a full quarter of numbers on that, if they are able to pay the machines, right, through the lease and still have money left over to then fund more growth beyond that. Right? So that's one thing I'm going to be looking forward to that. All right, Neville, what's the point of buying convertible notes if Cipher has a great chance of selling the notes via cash, or does Cipher plan on them converting to shares? It's probably, if the stock doesn't go up and they're not doing great in, 2031 is when they mature, I think. They may pay them back in cash if things work out pretty well for them, or, they could just say, here you go, have some shares, I guess. Gary. Okay, question. Well, last time he tanked IREN 13% and stock ran over 100% and then dropped IREN 16% before they closed down 10%. We'll be back near highs next week. Maybe last buying chance for anyone wanting to get in. I would agree there with you, Gary. It was the same thing with them on Tesla, right? They had Tesla downgraded going down to a certain price, and the stock there went up like 200, 300% on them. So they're not the greatest at reading the markets there, where things are going. Neville, if the demand is there, I'd much rather IREN go full throttle with being a neocloud. So would I. I would agree with you there. I'm all on board that as well. SH, why would GPM target 24 for IREN? The GPM guy is a very reputable analyst in Wall Street. He's looking at maybe the wrong numbers on this stuff, right? One of the things that he quoted was it $9 to $11 million to build out per megawatt, whereas right now IREN is just swapping things out in the data centers that they currently own, and right, so I think he's just maybe a little misguided by it. Maybe, I'm not sure. NG, will Bitfarms perform like IREN, going up to above 20 bucks? We would need, obviously, Bitfarms to build out a small data center, maybe 50 megawatts or something like that, and then get GPUs in there, become its own neo cloud. Maybe at that point it could do very, very well at that as well, and then build out even further beyond that, kind of similar to IREN. So IREN has developed a playbook here for all these guys that want to get into HPC AI, and right, we're seeing that this might be the greatest path forward for all of them. So it'll be interesting to see, right? Cipher's looking to get into Neo Cloud as well. Cleanspark is looking to get into it. We'll see if others are going to be doing the same thing here. All right, Kranz, do you think what IREN is doing will encourage other miners to do the same? Yeah, I just talked about that. But also, if there's only 2 months of bull run left, is there even enough time for these other miners to pump like IREN? Well, if you believe that we have a similar cycle to last time, which I don't, gosh, that scared the crap out of me. Something dropped on the first floor here. If you believe that we have a similar cycle, then they could still pump on HPCI because right now the miners are not pumping on Bitcoin. They're pumping on HPCI potential. All right. Victor C, what is the target price by analysts? Analysts have it between $75 to $82 for IREN right now. And that's 5 analysts. One's got 75, one's got 78, one's got 80, another one's got 82, and I think there's another one that's somewhere in the middle there as well. Okay. Neville says, I think Daniel Roberts was comparing IREN to AWS when he was talking about providing capacity to end customers. I don't think he meant AWS would be a client. Well, maybe not. I mean, could go either way on that. I'll have to really listen to the conversation there as see what he actually meant by it. But AWS could be a client as well, if they wanted to. Let's see, Gary. IREN Bulls on X found what they think is next site in Oklahoma, bordering Texas and IREN. Has recently posted jobs in Oklahoma, so I think that will be next announcement once contracts are complete. Okay, that's awesome. That's there. S. Ramani question, Bitfarms gets a colo deal similar to Cipher. What will their price be at that point? That would be, well, that's $300 million in revenue. I don't have the numbers for them, what they're making right now. But I'm guessing probably not much higher from where they are right now, I think. Maybe going up another $1 from where they are, maybe. Maybe even more. I'd have to look at the numbers, right? Bitfarms has like 500 million shares outstanding, so that also is going to impact how much the stock can go up. Rob, can you compare the farms to Myron as far as how many gigawatts and facilities they have? Myron. I don't have Myron's. I don't even know about them. How many facilities they have here. So you're saying Myron is a data center company there? I'll take a look into it. Myron data centers. Look into it. Okay, I'll check it out to see what they have to offer. Are they even publicly traded there? All right, SH. Let's see. The administration of U.S. President Donald Trump is urging utilities across the country to keep coal-fired power plants running longer, in part to help deliver the vast amount of electricity for AI. While we transition to natural gas and nuclear, I mean, I'm okay with it. And some of these, depending on the model, I guess, of the coal plant there. But that'd be fine. Alexander, do you see a higher upside in Cleanspark at this point compared to IREN? IREN has more megawatts, so I think there's still more upside in IREN, depending on how well they build this out and how quickly and how smoothly, right? What is the dilution going to be also? So I think right now, IREN is the top dog here as far as further growth still, potential. Cleanspark is possibly not far behind as far as I mean, it's way undervalued as it is right now at being at, what is that, $13 a day or something like that. It should be much higher valued already, just on their Bitcoin mining operations, not including any HPCI potential they might have there. So I still expect great things from Cleanspark as well. All right. DeFi, world's highest IQ holder just said Bitcoin is going to $10 million. Okay, that's sweet. But we kind of know that, right? And within the next probably 30 years or something like that, it'll be there. I don't think it's going to be within the next 5 to 10 years. Thomas, do you see Riot announcing HPC soon? How the stock will react? We don't know. It's obviously taken Cipher a while to get a deal. It's taken TerraWolf a long time to get it. Well, not a long time. It's taken a while also to get a deal. And right now we've seen FluidStack be the one that's giving out the deals here. So I don't know. We do know that Oracle is obviously looking for sites and megawatts to help power their relationship with OpenAI. That could be a potential there. We're also obviously know Meta is looking for sites. So I don't know. How will the stock react at that point? I think the stock will go up depending on the deal here. It's probably going to be similar to what we've seen here as well with Cipher and TerraWolf, right? Right around, what is it, 1.2 million, 1.3 million per megawatt there roughly. Gary says, IREN didn't sell any shares in the last 2 weeks of August. No idea if they sold any in September, but still have room on current. Yeah. Yes, they do. Victor, what are the chances Cipher gets another deal within this year? If you listen to Mike Alfred seems to believe that there's going to be, I think he's targeting 80% probability of a deal happening still this year. Okay. Kranz, thanks, Seb. You're very welcome. Shinshi, hi, Seb. What's your market outlook for the next week? I heard the rush on holiday stuff affects the market for a couple of weeks. Is that true? I'm not sure. I don't really pay attention to that stuff here. Historically, fourth quarter is usually pretty good, not only for Bitcoin miners, but the markets in general. So I think we'll be in pretty good shape here in the fourth quarter. Right, we got the rate cuts coming in as well for October, possibly for December as well. So we got good things happening for us. Let's see here. MN's target price for Cipher by us. Oh, that one, I don't know. The numbers that I have for him right now, for Cipher at least, are... Let's see, Cipher, those are still probably all. I need to get this updated here. This was updated beginning of the month here. So here's what I got for Cipher as of the beginning of the month. It was $9 for the high, $6 for the low. That definitely needs to get updated here. My targets are $15.30 to $22.95 with the $300 million in revenue from HPCI. Okay, so they're at $11.47. I think they're undervalued from where they really should be. That's just me. We'll see where the analysts come in at, though. All right, let's go back here. Okay, let's see. Shishi, hey, where is Sour Melon today? Also, where do you see IREN for the next couple of weeks? Bounce back or more profit taken? That I don't know. I mean, I'm guessing with the amount of attention that it's getting, right? I mean, Dan's on CNBC. He was on, was it Fox Business also, I think he was. He was on Yahoo Finance as well. So he's making the rounds there. He's definitely making the case for IREN here, which is great. We also have Eric Jackson making the case for IREN and Cipher. We also have Mike Alfred, obviously. All of us here on X, on YouTube, all that, we're all making noise about IREN here. So I think there's a very positive sentiment happening in IREN, and I think it's going to continue going forward here. This correction that we're seeing here is just, the market is being the market. We were up tremendously. A little pullback was probably healthy overall, and it gave a lot of people a good buying opportunity to get in as well if they wanted to, if they didn't get in before. Okay, SH IREN, $500 for, or $500 million for each 2%, $12.5 billion divided by 500 million shares with dilution at 65% profit is $16.50 EPS times 10, $165 or 20 times, or 20 times would be 330 a share. My numbers might be off a little bit. Okay, but that's still much, much higher from where we are right now, right? So thanks for running those numbers here really quick. Jen Pal, question is IREN dropping their exahash for AI? Den has said that they would, right, on the opportunity. So that might be happening here. We'll see. But they have stated that they're going to try to maintain the 50 exahash roughly going forward as well. All right. Alexander says, thank you. You're very welcome. Sinchi, to me, Dan Roberts sounded like he was implying they are working with AWS rather than just an example. That's kind of what it sounded to me about. I mean, we'll find out in due course. All right. MD says, I also bought more Cleanspark today on the dip. How many more megawatts does IREN have compared to Cleanspark? Currently, about 2 gigawatts more than what Cleanspark has right now. Okay. DFly, thoughts on Mora. This is the one that's been lagging HPC transition pivot. That would definitely help them out, right? I mean, they got huge operations. 65% of it is sites that they own. 35% is still hosted there. So they do have sites that could possibly transition into HPCI. But yeah, I mean, we're not hearing much from them on that part of it. They're making some deals with HPCI developers or operators or something like that. We'll have to wait and see. MGS, at what point would you add to IREN on a pullback? 23.25? Oh yeah, if it got down that low, I would be, backing up the truck at that point as much as I could. I don't think we're going to get down that low, but I could be wrong. If we get down there, yeah, that would be a really, really good time to get into it. SH, less locations and sites available, the more money the miners can make. Yep. All right. DeFi, do you think we have bottomed out? We may still go down a little bit more on Monday and Tuesday because it's the end of the month here. Institutions, money managers, all that are taking profits for the quarter here, especially some of these guys have run up tremendously here. And they're also probably rebalancing their portfolios a little bit here. So we might see that happening as well. So I wouldn't count it out just yet. I don't think we're out of the woods completely. All right. HB, why do you think Cleanspark sold off the past couple of days? It's had a nice run up as well recently. It's done fairly well. So I think it's just profit taking on that one. We also had somebody reported JP Morgan put a downgrade on them for some reason. So part of it. All right, Gary. Let's see. Question. Reginald Smith is ranked 70th of 106 analysts with 15.7 returns, largely based on 196% return on IREN, who he kept at hold and price target of 16 for 2 months ago. Okay. Victor C, which is more undervalued, Cipher or Cleanspark? I think possibly, I think they're tied right now, to be honest with you. Cleanspark should be at least double from where it's at right now. Cipher obviously much higher from where it's at right now. Cipher also has more megawatts going forward, so it's tough. Cipher also has a lot more shares than Cleanspark has, so yeah, I mean, I would say, yeah, it's close to being a tie, if not maybe a little bit Cleanspark on that point. Let's see. Mara options looked attractive today. Have you purchased any options on Bitcoin miners to get even more leverage on the outside movers? No, I have not. That is obviously more volatile as the miners already are. I want to sleep at night without waking up in a cold sweat. Thinking about, did I do the right thing? So I just buy shares in those guys. Go Chug. Why Mara lagging? Mara has continued to stay pretty much a pure play Bitcoin miner there. The operations are not also great. Their compensation for CEOs and management there is outrageous. Continued dilution to keep everything that they mine on HODL, along with they've been buying Bitcoin as well. So those are the things I can think of as far as why. Shinshi, Mara is the saddest story of 2025. It was the golden child in 2021, if you guys recall. But yeah, this time around, it's not doing that great. MD, to all the chatbot, when those corrupt banks downgrade a stock that's on fire like IREN, that means they are buying that stock and trying to manipulate the market down to get lower prices. I would agree with you there. All right, let's see. Sorry, I can't read. I don't know if that's Chinese or Japanese. I do apologize. I can't read that. How many shares of IREN do you have right now? A little bit over 7,000. Rob Ferreira, how many shares has Ben bought recently? Thoughts? He bought some more this week. I don't know exact amount that he bought, but I know that he bought some more there. Let's see here. GoChug says hedge funds have been selling in last couple of weeks. Hope they're done now. Monday maybe start of green day. Eric Trump said Q4 for crypto will be insane. Buy the dip. I agree with you there. I would also think that Q4 should be really good for us here as well. But I wasn't aware of hedge funds selling here this past couple of weeks. All right. SH data centers is turning up 5 to 6 gigawatts per year, and we need around 22 gigawatts per year to keep up with AI demand. Yeah, demand is not going away, at least anytime soon here. SH says about 35,000 shares been bought. Okay, so that's still a nice sizable amount there, right? He believes the company, and that's one of the reasons I also bought into it today. I saw Ben buying into it at those levels. I'm like, okay, if Ben still believes that the company's undervalued at that point, all right, let's get into it. I think they're undervalued also. So I'm like, let's buy in a little bit more here. All right, HB, what do you think the end of the year looks like? Up, but not as much as the past month. As far as the miners are concerned, it'll greatly depend on the outlook that they provide, any guidance, especially when they report their Q3 results in sometime in November. And then any kind of new deals that they have, continuation of build out and HPCI, all that stuff is going to be a great determining factor as far as where they go. But I mean, some of these guys could still double from where they are right now by the end of the year. And if Bitcoin goes up also to 150,000 by the end of the year, that would be another driving force for these guys to go up even higher. That's kind of where I'm thinking right now, at least. Okay. All right. Looks like I've come to all you guys' questions here. We're going to finish it out here. It's almost 10:30 here as it is Friday night. I'm going to go and enjoy it, spend time with my wife, put the kids to bed. We're going to watch a movie or something like that, have some popcorn, adult beverages. But just a quick toast to all the IREN bulls out there. We made it this far. We're going to make it a heck of a lot further as well. So cheers to all you guys. And I'll call it a day here. Let me see. We got a couple more questions coming in here really quick. Which I meant after hearing 7,000 IREN shares, my foreign shares make me cry. Remember, I got into IREN last year at a much lower price at that point. Okay, so that's part of the reason why right now. Let's see if that's it. Yeah, that's it. All right. Love you all. Hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. Hope you enjoy. Have a safe and happy Friday as well. Don't do anything stupid out there. You only have one life. We don't have 9 lives like cats, so be smart out there. If you're going to have a good time, get a taxi, get an Uber or something like that if you're going to go out and do some adult beverage drinking there. Let's see. All right, a couple more here. I'm going to finish it up. MD, love these live streams, Seb. You are killing it. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. DFly says, do you show your portfolio to your wife? Sometimes I do. She knows where we are. GoChunk says minus $6. Mr. X says, thank you. You're very welcome. DeFi, I told my wife we'll retire her for good, so I'll have to update her. LOL. Okay. All right. Let's see. Mortem's got something coming in here as well. All right. Come on. Pop up here so I can read it. Wow. Okay. That's a lot of them. All right. Mr. X says, thanks. I told my wife, Mr. X, what is the number 1, 2, 3 buy right now for miners? I think right now, IREN still, Cipher, Cleanspark, Bitfarms, Riot potentially, right? All those guys that have HPCI potential. Yes, have a good weekend. And Tom and George on Talking Investing are pushing the idea that Samara will lead from here. I think they are talking their book. Yeah, I mean, that I don't know. All right, we're going to call it a day. Love you all. I'll see you guys on Sunday. Have a great weekend.